Ia, am murit. Mamă, ce m-a speriat. Stai că mi s-a salvat web-ul. Așa. Bun. Mă gândesc că o să vrei să joc acest joc minunat cu sunetul la maxim, nu? Te rog, Sidu. Ai de cap. Mă așteptam la asta. Băi, ce-ar intra o țigară acum? Să mă pregătesc psihic. Hashtag rezist. Într-o oră se luminează afară. Mamă, ce descobitori am pe aici. Nu vreau scobitoare. Așa, total random. Ai. Nu-mi place acest sunet. Totul e în regulă. Hai că se instalează relativ repede. Ce ai făcut? Meh. Meh. Bă, fată. Dar tu ce faci, oi? Da, cu minte. Da, da, da. Deja mă tem. Nu, acum ești în culmea fericire că o să mă terorizezi, să mergi FIFA, totul e bine, nu? Cred că, nu știu. Să-mi scot un pic camera. Gata. Nu o chema și pe Nicol, te rog eu. N-am nimic cu ea, dar știu că o să mă sperie. Viața e frumoasă, da. Nu. Mie. Andra. Să-mi fie... No. Eu nu mă speriu la jocurile horror. Eu sper că doarme. Sincer. Am dat 2-3 mesaje. Mă scuzi. Nu, că nu mai are mult. Deci să înțeleg că Nicol nu doarme? Văd. Prea bine. Nu, am înțeles. Noroc că mai face lumină pe al doilea monitor, că altfel ar fi beznă aici. Cât de mult știi din acest joc? Ah, bun, perfect. Deci teoretic tu o să te sperii mai rău decât mine. Da, păi cred că 5 minute o să mă mai vezi și pe mine după ce intru în joc, că după aia mă bag sub birou. Ne. Ne. S-a terminat. Efectiv. Dar nu se poate să, nu știu, să amânăm treaba asta. să-mi dea eroare, că nu merge, că nu știu. Bun, am început cu dreptul. Păi cred că nici jocul nu-și dorește al juca. Unde-i jocul? Deci el deschide pe monitorul 2. Ha? Hai că merge. Vai de viață. Ai, Andra, ce faci tu cu mine? Știu că nu se vede, trebuia să-l mut. O să lăsăm așa. De acord? Normal că nu. Bun. Dar muzica nu o las. Nu, muzica nu. Deloc. nu zici că-ți rău. Atât. Cred că da. Doamne ajută. Prea târziu. Ai, Doamne. În ce m-am băgat? Tare aș vrea să știu. Sper că nu e același joc pe care eu l-am jucat. Atâta sper.
Office of the Medical Examiner, Pete'sville. Dr. Jack Hadman is speaking. How can I help you?
Good evening, this is Kate Brooks. I'm not sure if you remember me. A few weeks ago, we talked about an article I'm working on. It's about your wife. I dropped by last Friday to speak to you, but you weren't working at the time. I asked the security guard to pass on a note for me. I would like us to discuss the topic of...
I thought I had made it painfully obvious. For the last time. No! Please don't call me again and stop inquiring about my wife.
Da, înțeleg că nu.
Damn journalists. They don't let me work. God damn it. I'm not in the best frame of mind to record a lecture for my students now. I'm feeling completely broken.
Uite.
Where did I leave my meds this time?
Nu voi. N-am jucat jocul ăsta. E gravă treaba. Da. Check the bathroom for your pills. Bun. Păi și mă lasă să dau skip. Aha. Pardon.
They definitely pay me too little for this. Stephen didn't clean up after himself. Awful. It would be good to finally repair the coffee machine.
Nah.
I guess it was in another life. Wednesday. It's not my favorite day, although it's certainly better than Monday. It won't be needed for the next few months. It won't be needed for the next few months. Pathology. How to combine the hands of and an exceptionally strong stomach.
Păi și chiar trebuie să ies din încăperea asta? Voce la maxim. Muzica, na, nu-și are sensul. Da. Ah, deci pe mine am mai încet.
They definitely pay me too little for this.
Trebuie să ies pe aici?
Let's hope I'm not caught short this evening. This place is starting to look like a hoarder's dream, rather than a storage room. I don't see they are flaky enough as it is.
Nu-mi place. Ăsta dacă bubuie face poc. Am plecat. De aici am venit eu. Și mergem aici. Nu știu, dar cred că rămân eu. Gen, în spitalul de nebun.
Okay, time to pull myself together
Gata, ne-am
and get
drogat.
back to work.
Interesant. Autofolder. Hai, da, ce nu. Spre aproape de monitor.
I need to set up the camera first. Now remember, Jack, don't forget, hit the record button this time.
Place it in the dissection room. Bathroom. Laboratory. Aici.
Hopefully the new tripod is going to hold up.
Meh. Meh. Trebuie să... Gen... Dar nu știu ce să zic legat de asta. Adică eu n-aș vrea. Deci efectiv deja mă lua cu frigul. Da, bun. Dacă îl tratez cu spatele, oare e ok sau trebuie să mă uit la el?
Now, I just have to get everything in frame. This should be fine. November 20th, 1991. Time, 8:43 p.m. Recording for medical students from the University of Missouri. This autopsy is conducted by Jack Hanman. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the autopsy. Let's start. Always wear an apron, mask, and gloves. Goggles are a must when the job is splashy. And in case of sharp accidents, it's worth having disinfectants at hand. It's true that you won't get ptomaine poisoning straight away, but if your liver or kidney aren't doing well, you may end up with diarrhea.
Da. Diaree. Exact ce am nevoie în momentul ăsta.
The cadaver is placed on its back on the autopsy table. The pathologist stands on the right of the deceased. Make sure that all the necessary tools are always at hand so that you don't have to run around looking for something, like I do all the time. In the process of revealing and securing forensic evidence, it is difficult not to interfere with the original condition of the deceased. Written and photographic documentation plays a vital role throughout the entire examination process. During your research, be patient, inquisitive, but above all, attentive to detail. Many injuries are visible at first glance, but sometimes they can be cover for more interesting stories. And lastly, remember that nothing teaches you self-narration like working with the dead. So get used to that fact soon. Everyone will think you're talking to yourself. Now, on to the police folder. That will contain all sorts of pertinent information as to who the deceased might be and what potentially happened to them. So, let's take a closer look, shall we?
Nu are mortul diarie tu.
The deceased was found on the outskirts of a parking lot at a gas station, where he often begged and persistently offered drivers to wash their car windows. The deceased's name is Tobias Chambers, locally known as Old Toby. Homeless and unemployed for at least a couple of years. The body was noticed by a station employee during the morning shift. Initially, he worked most of his life at the local port dealing with unloaded cargo. Signs of libation were found around the body. Empty bottles, that's it. It's worth remembering the context around the scene of a death. This allows you to better interpret any traces found on the body. I shouldn't start the procedure without gloves.
N-am mănuși, bineînțeles. De ce aș avea eu mănuși la îndemână?
Now it's our turn to take some pictures for our files. If I can just remember where I left the camera. Aha! There you are. I knew it was here somewhere. As I mentioned at the beginning, before we begin the internal examination, we need to document the cadaver and the condition it arrived in. We begin with a full body photo. Try and stick to the top-down rule, but this is not always possible. Voila! Now we move on to the next step, looking for traces. Take your time. Look at the corpse from different sides, from different angles, up close, and from a distance. You're looking for anything out of the ordinary.
Dar și de ce? Farmax unde... Păi și-am găsit urme. Așa.
That's something interesting. It will be necessary to check whether this injury was severe enough to cause damage to
Dacă
the
lasă
brain.
ridicat, dat alt F4 și pe joc din nou LOL.
Hardened hands, worn out by physical work, and frostbite? Some wounds in the feet and signs of frostbite, probably because the subject's shoes were too small. Poorly healed wound. Looks old. I'll take a closer look later. In a moment, we will check which of our initial observations will be worthy of further consideration. But before we get to that, I need to write down some basic data.
Deci dacă te miști de acolo, te ia mama la proces verbal, ai grijă. Ce că fa autopsia. Da, sigur. Asta nu trebuie să fie curat.
Scalpel, scissors, syringe, magnifying glass, knife. I guess I forgot to clean the knife.
Ai uitat, este. Păi și...
Scalpel, scissor. Personal information. The deceased was unclothed. Date. Okay. As you can see, I note everything down on previously prepared forms. Every pathologist must keep a detailed record of every step of the autopsy. This not only allows you to track the procedure, but also collates the results together, upon which you may back up your conclusions. So, enough of the boring prep. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the spots I photographed earlier. For this, you're going to need a magnifying glass. Which spot first? It looks like a burn mark. No doubt painful, but it's not pertinent for this case. Here we can see frostbite on the fingertips. We can tell by the characteristic skin color. I can confirm the presence of ecchymosis on the deceased man's head. The appearance indicates the intravital nature of the wound. Add alcohol, which I can clearly smell, and this was an accident just waiting to happen. Definitely a painful mix of frostbite, abrasions, and blisters. Old Toby had been wearing shoes too small for him for a very long time. That's if he wore any at all. So far, there are a lot of superficial wounds, but only one serious injury to the head. Let's go back to our notes.
Păi și unde e clipboard? Unde am clip? Hai că până învăț unde am itemele...
Scalpel, scissors. I guess I forgot to clean the knife.
Bă. Unde? Nimic, Sebi.
Eu sunt capitan major, reclamații gaminor, atâta vitală,
Mi se face pielea de găină. Și mă cac pe mine. Oprește-te. Eu caut clipboard-ul și ea... Aoleu. O mică chestie. Trebuie să le dau mai tare. Ai, Doamne. Unde mi clipboard-ul? Ah.
First, I mark the location of the entries and make notes for each one. So... the head wound. Definitely we're not in... Even though this type of wound did... If Toby's body was cold for a prolonged period, the frostbite could have resulted... Considering the conditions in which he's... This is of no aid. The nights have been particularly nasty lately. We will check if there are any signs of freezing internally. Since the deceased clearly smelled of alcohol, I'll add alcohol poisoning to our list.
Deci putea din cauza înghețului, faptul că a căzut sau alcoolul.
We still have one thing left from the basics. Rigor mortis. Well, we take our deceased by the hand, gradually we raise it,
Vi se rupe mâna oare?
now let it go. As you can see, the hand falls loose. What's the conclusion? Death must have occurred more than 72 hours ago. The police information appears correct.
Așa și?
Head trauma seems the most promising, so we'll start there. For this, I need an oscillating saw.
Select this.
The cut is made from ear to ear.
Ce-am făcut?
After which, we remove the skin and the top of the skull. After the basic examination,
Parcă mi-e și un pic rău. Parcă nu mă simtem bine. O să mă dau un pic mai departe.
we can see that the brain's cerebral gyri in both hemispheres are symmetric. The brain looks good. Let's take a cross-section.
Păi și ceva?
Some pathologists prefer to examine organs without removing them. However, for me, it's much more convenient to examine them on a board, which we'll do now.
De ce s-a amețit? De ce? Se aude o muzică. De obicei când se aude muzică se întâmplă ceva.
Scalpel,
Da,
system.
frate, da, știu. Trebuie să iau pastilă. Iară? Mă duc să iau pastilă. Aici. Alți. Da. Noroc cu tine, că altfel muream dracu pe aici. Am crezut că a dispărut creierul sau s-a mișcat de ăsta, că... Uite ce cap fain are.
Holding a long, narrow blade knife in the dominant hand, we slowly cut the cranial nerves on both sides, all the time pulling the brain towards us.
Mamă! Cum se mișcă.
So far, so good.
Mamă, mi se
The
face prea de gând.
hematoma seems to have had no effect on the brain.
N-aș fi primul este, adică ăsta... Gata, continuăm.
We can rule the fatal accident out as well. Brain is in good condition, so we have no choice but to proceed to the internal examination of the other organs.
Face șnițel.
I grab a scalpel from my kit. The incision should be in the shape of a letter Y. We use a deep cut to reach all the way to the ribs and to penetrate the abdominal wall. All right, now we peel back and separate the skin.
GX. Vai.
Now, we need to remove the ribs. We'll need the loppers for this. Quite a satisfying crunch. For
Asta e
some
fumătorul,
anyway.
uite-te ce
After
plămâni
removing the
are.
cartilage tissue, we instantly notice two things. Firstly, there is no congestion of the internal. We can see widespread black and tarry deposits caused by smoking cigarette. Despite the tragic condition of the lungs, they are not the cause of death. Alice smoked too. It didn't kill her, but... what was I talking about? Lungs. Yes. Advanced inflammation. What now? The syringe. Now's a good time to collect some samples, specifically 3. For 5 milliliters from the left ventricle should do it. Vitreous humor analysis is very useful in indicating long-term alcohol abuse. Now from the bladder, we draw down 10 milliliters of fluid. Now we take our samples to the centrifuge. But before I do that, I need to find my notebook. My dyscalculia means that I always double-check the settings. Please excuse me while I run and fetch it.
Deci dacă ăsta se mișcă, eu acum trebuie să mă duc după caranțel. Dacă ăsta se mișcă de aici, eu nu mai intru aici. La filmează, cică. Și aici.
This whole thing is covered in stains. I should check this out under the microscope sometime.
Bă, dar nu-mi place, bă. Bă. Bă, nu, bă.
Let's get back to the examination.
Măcar e de treabă și nu mișcă. Ce aud chestii de afară, totul e ok.
We put all of the samples into the rotor. Now, we set the appropriate time and speed.
Păi și care-i? Perform de așa. Care-i maxim și... A. Cred că așa. Păi și aici care-i? Aha. 70%. 15 minute. Minute.
Okay, let's roll.
Wow.
Oh shit. The fuses again.
Nah. Nah. No. No. Ce facem în această situație? Ai, Doamne. Ce defibrilator, că direct ies pe uși. Știi cum? Hai că nu se întâmplă nimic dacă e mâncați așa.
Where were we? Oh, yes. The blood alcohol concentration. Let's see what we've got here. Everything's separated as it should. Our lab is closed until tomorrow after the last, incident. However, considering that Toby's favorite eau de parfum appears to be ethanol, I'm guessing the results won't surprise me at all.
Încredere de jucău.
Let's go further. We will now focus on the cardiovascular system, specifically the heart. We remove the organ and examine it closely. We look for dark hypoxic areas, clots, or other elements that stand out as abnormal.
Uite-le. Uite. Aici. Uite.
At first glance, the heart looks fine. The pulmonary trunk and aorta seem to be in good condition. There are no pathological changes that would have contributed to Toby's death. Now let's take a closer look at the stomach. Size is normal, healthy, pink color, and as expected, the stomach has no major external damage. We must now cut it open and inspect inside. We will do it carefully so that its contents do not spill out. We open the stomach along the greater curvature, from the heart to the pyloric end.
Mamă, ce mișcări.
I already feel like there's something left inside.
E mișto că trebuie să mișc eu mouse-ul așa. Gen după cum vezi tu pe ecran. Dar și dacă mi iasă careva. E clară treaba. Tom, și ce ești tu?
Okay, large amount of gas, small amounts of yellow, grayish food content. Either our deceased hadn't eaten in days, or the bulk of his stomach had already found a way out. Looks like I'll have to find the missing contents. There are two ways here. One is obvious, and the other is... It couldn't have been suffocation, could it? I'll add this to the list and move on to the deceased's neck. At first glance, the trachea looks normal. Same result as with the stomach. The external inspection doesn't tell us anything. This time we'll cut on a tray.
Chiar că mă zic.
While cutting such a small organ as the trachea, we must make a precise incision. To be able to cut with the very tip of the blade, we must hold the scalpel as we would a pen. And after careful examination and deduction, we've got it. A clogged trachea. It's time to summarize the whole thing.
Și că nu fumați copii, dar tot eu care plâng după o țigară de câteva ore.
Based on the report and preliminary documentation, it's safe to assume that the deceased passed out after consumption of alcohol and then fell asleep on his back. Then, the gastric contents refluxed and flooded the airways, causing death. That's why we don't forget about the recovery position at dorm parties.
Și că s-a necat și de-aia au murit. What the fuck? Decide the appropriate manner of death. Am făcut asta. Ah!
And now it's all clear. The death was suffocation. Now, signature. The mystery is solved. But for us, this is not the end. First, the death...
Gata.
For this, we will need to close the body and grab the needle. First, we unroll the skin flaps. And then, we sew the deceased back up. I'm using the baseball stitch technique. This stitching method is very strong and quick to do.
Ce bătaie de joc l-am cusut pe ăsta.
Beautiful. Now we say goodbye to the deceased and put them safely in the fridge, ready for the...
Stai că-mi dă eroare YouTube-ul. Ce ai, Mike?
Next stage of their journey.
Ui, ce urât se vede acum. Ui. Păi și cum îl... Ah.
God, I'm tired. I'll drop these samples off at the lab on the way to the bar.
Eu zic să mai luăm.
I'll call Steven. I don't feel like drinking alone today.
Eu zic să mai luăm o pastilă. Nu? Nu mai luăm. Ce? Ce asta? Vreau să știu ce asta. Nu nimic atât. Lasă-mă să-l pun la loc. Da, sunetul parcă... Nimic dubios, totul e în regulă. Na, păi și... Ce-a picat?
Forgive me. What? Christ. What a dream. Fuck. Time flies, and probably doesn't have to get up to work.
Păi și ce ar trebui să-i fac?
So much light everywhere. Where? A pill a day keeps the defective jack away. It's a shame these won't help with my hangover. The fucking phone. Okay. I know I'm late. I'll be there soon. It's not like the dead are impatient.
Vorbește singur. Oh.
Alice? Who is this?
It's Charlotte Graves.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. I didn't recognize you. I thought it was work calling.
Am crezut că
It's
vorbește
okay.
singur.
I hate it when work calls me at home too. How is everything? We haven't talked since, you know.
Well, there are good days, and there are bad days. What can I say? At least I can hide away at work.
Well, you always were the most comfortable in the dissecting room. Listen, I have an unusual request.
Okay, how can I help?
It's nothing serious. I just wanted to ask. Do you have any pictures of Alice?
I guess. I'll look.
Thank you.
Se
Have you?
vorbește prea mult, trece mai departe.
And
Sorry.
I'll look. Thanks. Got it.
Thank you. Just
Yeah, and that.
thank
You too.
Așa.
Well, that was a bit unexpected. I should probably find something to send. Some days, I just feel like setting fire to all this paperwork. I'm fed up with it.
Sunt
An indispensable element of every office. I should really try and read a few of these. Time flies, and probably doesn't have to get up to work. It's always good to have something for a rainy day.
Nebunește dacă nu iau pastilele.
It was a miracle that the coffee didn't wash off the writing. And that she said yes. I wasn't able to support her through this. Till death do us part. Alice and Charlotte in Amsterdam. It's hard to believe they've known each other for... These were from Thanksgiving. Stephen invited me. I was going to give them to his mother, but then I met Alice. That was the first time I saw her. It's been almost a year.
Un plic. Trebuie un plic. Ce-ar merge niște paste acum.
It would be better if Charlotte had this. It deserves to be on display and not hidden in a drawer.
Ce?
Time flies. It hurts too much to look at these, but I can't throw them away. I'm not in the mood for music lately. They certainly have more.
Hai bă frate.
I still feel uneasy. At this time, Alice would probably be sitting here reading a book. The remnants of last night's binge with Steven. I'm not sure if it's still edible. Alice didn't like this portrait. Alice didn't like this portrait. I really need to get this laundry done.
Nu o să mor dacă eu m-am blocat deja.
Time flies, and probably doesn't have to get up to work. An indispensable element of every office. I should really try and read a few of these. An indispensable... I should really try and read a few of these.
What the fuck?
Some days, I just am fed up with it. Okay, time to go to work. I'm seriously late.
Mai băgăm? Nu mai băgăm. Căutam un
I should
plic
grab some
pentru
coffee and aspirin on the way. Alice used to joke that smoking near... These fluorescent tubes are brutal.
What? The fuck? Ba, am făcut task-ul. Fii atent, șmecherie. Chem liftul și am plecat. Nu mă interesează. Unde-i mailbox-ul? Aici.
Standard correspondence consisting of bills, advertising leaflets.
Păi și nu aici.
Standard correspondence consisting of bills, advertising leaflets, and pious reminders about the upcoming end of the world.
Bă, ce pui mei, mă? No, dacă tu vezi o căsuță poștală pe aici, arată-mi și mie.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Maybe they'll finally fix that door.
Ok, suntem supărați că e stricată ușa. Unde căcată-i mailbox-ul ăla? Bă, îmi fuge imaginea. Uite-o. Doamne.
I hope this helps, Charlotte. Time to... Huh?
Păi și care e imaginea? Asta e. Nu e asta. Asta.
Damn, I forgot my jacket. Ah, well. I'll brave it for tonight. Too bad.
Vai, dar ce greu se încarcă. Parcă mai ia somn.
Nice and fresh. At least it's peaceful here. Good evening, Mr. Ridley.
The timesheet, Hammond.
What?
Some corpses have more personality than this guy. Christ. Who leaves the window open in the middle of November? So I'd better check the answering machine.
Hi, Jack. I dropped by a little early today. I left the body with Ridley in the corridor. He wasn't sitting in the locker then, so maybe he'll even throw him into the room. Well, yeah, I mean, this, fucking Anyway, Charlotte, she asked, it's time to...
I wonder when this class... Due to a lack of preparation, this time the lecture will be improvised. Due to... Birthday. I actually forgot it was today. Alice baked me muffins like these every birthday. A treat for later. I always crave something sweet after a section. Okay, joke's over. Apron, gloves, and get to work.
Oh, Tanti.
Ah, man. I remember you. You were on that talent show. What was your name again?
Mă întorc imediat. Băg o pastilă.
I need to order another batch of these. I've got to remember to do that later. And that's the whole point. Steven laughs at me for recording everything. He says I have a bigger collection of stuff like that. November 21st, 1991. Time, 9:13 p.m. The autopsy is conducted by Jack Hanman. Lecture for the Medical University of Missouri. After yesterday's lecture, you should already know the ins and outs, so today we'll be consolidating our knowledge. So, where do I start? That's right, police folder. Ah, yes, Samantha Barker. Now I remember. There's probably been found in her own apartment by police patrol. Officers were called by a concerned friend of during the interrogation. A friend of the deceased admitted the deceased was found in her own apartment, in a semi-recumbent position on an armchair. Large quantities of alcohol and empty packets of sleeping pills were also found in the apartment. After her first album became a commercial success, when questioned, friends admitted that Samantha's last days before losing contact seemed extremely happy and relaxed. She also... Okay, now we can continue with the examination. Again, begin by taking photographs of the cadaver. I guarantee that...
Nu, mai nimic. Nu m-am uitat prin dosarul poliției.
First, we photograph the whole body. And now, any suspicious-looking marks or wounds.
De la ce pică?
Yes, I've seen this many times.
Habar n-am.
You don't get such bruises from a normal contusion.
Ce gât fain are asta.
Interesting. Very uneven. We need to investigate this. Well, there's even more here.
Și mai aici,
A few we will need to look into here. Scalpel, scissors, syringe, magnifying glass, knife. I guess I forgot to clean the knife. Notes prepared. Time to take a closer look. The number of bruises suggests that there may have been some kind of tussle. Some furrows have imprinted more strongly, others less, as if someone was, undecided? And here's something interesting. The skin of the deceased is covered with numerous blisters. Some of them are ruptured. Others still contain fluid residue. Such bruises are caused by either a very heavy blow or by some internal issues. More numerous blisters.
Iar o picat.
We have some leads to investigate here. Let's write this down. Currently, it's on the neck of the given the condition in general, although it's easier to have abrasions on your feet. But the number and size of the blisters suggest that it's probably a matter of barbiturate poisoning. After examining the organs, we can easily verify whether there was internal bleeding or whether the deceased was suffering from something. The examination, I'll add barbiturates to the list of to be checked in the lab later. Given the testimony of the victim's friend, I add alcohol poisoning to the list of potential causes of Miss Barker's death. A blood test will no doubt quickly verify that hypothesis. But first I'll check for external traces. For this we use the good old UV lamp. I look carefully at the whole body. UV rays will reveal any traces. Torso. The left hand seems to be fine. No marks. Right hand clean. The area around the head is empty. Legs, there's nothing here. Well, nothing to surprise us here. Now gently, we take the deceased by the hand, and we check for rigor mortis. Again, the hand falls freely. After yesterday, you should know what this means. Since we don't. Have a definitive lead, we will examine all the key organs one by one. So, I'm starting the internal inspection. I dissect the skin of the deceased. And I proceed to deflect the skin flaps. Compared with yesterday's body, the deceased has only trace amounts of it. Now for the ribs. What do we have here? Or rather, what
Altă
don't we
fumătoare.
have? There is certainly no sign of internal bleeding. Sometimes regarding bruising, it doesn't take much. My wife was constantly banging into furniture, walking into door frames. That's a wonder she never broke anything. Before I disembowel the deceased, I will take samples for... All done. I'll transfer these to the centrifuge. What was it? 15, 70, 10, 75? Maybe one day I completely forgot birthdays and anniversaries. I'm lucky Alice always forgave me.
Mai băgăm o pastilă să... Da. Nu se știe niciodată. Și ăsta de ce nu merge? Uite-te că nu mai e. Ha? Da, păi și eu cred că închid imediat, că mă cam nenoroci ăștia. Nu mă lasă. De ce nu mă lasă? Ce... Ai, Doamne.
Gently does it with this old thing. Handle with kid gloves. I'm starting the centrifuge. Let's see what results come out. The laboratory is already open, so... Fucking hell! Ridley! Mr. Ridley!
Păi cred că oprim aici și...
Where is he? The fuses need resetting. Fuck it. I'll do it myself. I swear there was a flashlight in here.
Păi și cum ar trebui să văd ceva? Lasă autopsia, dă un... Nu văd nimic. Check the breakers in the storeroom. Elodia, stai cu minte. Bathroom. Taci că te bagăm.
Whatever. I know where the switches are anyway.
Pe și unde-s? Nu. Nu știu ce e acolo. Aici.
First the right, and then the left. And voila.
Oi, come
What?
on. No, 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 no.
What the? Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, no, no.
Can't I work in peace? Jack Hanman speaking.
Easy, why so rude?
Steve? Sorry, man. This place is falling apart, and Ridley won't even lift a finger to help. You just can't work here.
Did the centrifuge trip the fuses again?
Yeah, eventually everything's gonna go up in smoke.
Look on the bright side. It's a free cremation with your autopsy.
Jesus, stop it. That shit pisses me off.
Okay, sorry, Jack. Anyway, I'm calling to ask how the autopsy's going. Soon there'll be journalists sniffing around for info, so we'd best be ready.
I'll whiz through this in a couple of hours. It doesn't look like a complicated case to me. More of a formality. The report will be available in the morning.
Sounds great. Thanks. Phew. How's your head?
Well, my head seems better than yours. On the way to work.
Holy fuck. Jack, turn on the radio.
What? What's happening?
Quiet.
A 3-car police convoy was involved in an accident near Pete's Bay Bridge while transporting prisoners to Orleans Parish Prison. At the moment, we do not know the exact number of victims or whether any of the convicts escaped. However, the scale of the accident indicates a large number of victims, possibly even fatal ones. Police are on their way to investigate the incident and secure the area. We know that the injured prisoners are on death row. The police were to transport them to their execution, which was to take place tomorrow morning. Many of them are very dangerous criminals. We will report on the matter on an ongoing basis, so stay tuned with us.
What? Was... Steven... Was Red Pete one of the passengers? He was, wasn't he? What if he survived?
Jack, I have to go. They want me on site.
What if he survived?
I gotta go. Talk to you later, okay?
Fuck. Calm down, Jack. Pills. I need my pills. You heard him, Jack. A serious accident. Lots of victims. He's definitely dead. Yes. Nothing's going to happen. Christ. I've got to get back to work. What?
No mai, no, no. Nu mai. Ne oprim aici. Ai, de... De ce am acceptat să fac așa ceva? De ce? Jesus. Nici nu știu cum să zic acum. Noapte bună, bună dimineața. Habar n-am. Nu știu. Da, ne auzim de seară sau mai pe după masă. Că nu mai pot, mi se închid ochii. Deci... O să zic totuși noapte bună. Pe data viitoare. Somn ușor să ai.